a YouTuber named Shanen Sarmi is excited to travel to California, but far less enthusiastic about her flight, specifically her window, which is not sitting in place and makes this unsettling noise.
We're going through the window and I didn't tell anyone.
By the time she lands, the first of the 2 layers of glass has slid down enough to poke her finger through. It looks like she is sticking her hand out of the plane, but she actually isn't. There is one more layer of glass that is hard to see, but still, the thickness of the window is now halved. She notices something was wrong with her window during the flight, but did not tell anyone until the very end, not wanting to cause a panic. I see where she is coming from, and she might have just been too shy and scared to speak up, but I personally think she should have said something, because they might have needed to make an emergency landing to fix it. She was trying to keep everyone calm by not telling, but looking at the condition of the window, I think it could have put everyone's lives in danger, but above all else, I'm just glad that she and everyone else was okay.
शुरू से लेकर एंड तक देखे, शुक्रिया। ये आप देख सकते हैं धमकियों में और अजीब अजीब सी हरकतें करती रहती है, ये आप देख सकते हैं।
Ahmed knows of someone in need of his help. She's apparently been taken over by something paranormal, and he hopes to break it by reciting the right words over her bedridden figure. The orb activity picks up whenever he speaks.
ये लगता है हम इसकी ट्रेड को ही कहते हैं, ये बच्ची जो मेंटल है और वही जो कहते हैं कि इसके अंदर अब ये चीज़ें और जिन्नात है।
Her gray hands have marks and worn knuckles. Her fingers are constantly flexing.
हमें महसूस हो रही एक्टिविटी है।
When she reaches for Ahmed at 3 minutes and 54 seconds, her arms are likewise discolored and marred. Something has been hard at work destroying her from the inside out. We don't get to see much of her face, but when we do get a glimpse, it looks scary and possessed. A twisted sneer across cracked gray skin at 9 minutes and 4 seconds. By the end of the session, she says something that makes him stop recording with a small sigh. Tell me what she says here to seemingly break his spirit. The possibility of this being real depends on if you believe in spirits taking someone over. Caught on tape is a scary woman, no doubt about that, but she could also be suffering from some kind of illness that causes delusions and skin conditions. This could also be makeup and some very good acting. The orbs could be from a dusty room, but the way they move over her makes me wonder if this is a real paranormal video caught on tape. This place just might be haunted by something nefarious. Published by Humboldt Pet Supply in October of 2018, the store's security camera footage reveals a series of creepy incidents that cannot be explained. The first involves a package falling off a shelf on its own. The shop attendant continues to shelve items and then heads over to put the package back. A moment later, after she walks away, the package falls from the shelf again. This time, it also moves across the floor a bit on its own. Another clip shows a cat named Diego pacing the shop. An incongruent shadow cat appears in the light from the doorway. There don't appear to be any other cats in the store but the real and the shadow one. In a third clip, another package falls from its place and moves strangely across the floor. It drifts slowly until it catches Diego, the cat's attention. As the cat approaches it tentatively, the package moves, causing Diego to jump. The cat pauses it for a second before he decides he wants nothing to do with this. The package continues across the floor on its own. Is this perhaps the shadow cat playing around with the real one? Seems pretty catty to me. While planting trees, a YouTube channel called Homesteading Off the Grid accidentally records the eerie cries of something shrieking deep in the forest. If you know what kind of animal this is, let me know, because many people claim this sounds like some kind of mix between a human and an animal.
Did you hear
like
that?
screaming at me, yeah.
Oh, wow.
They don't hear anything for another 6 minutes and decide to stop recording. If this was a person, it sounds like they were in serious need of help. Nevertheless, that shriek is enough to give anyone chills. While filming some footage in an old hotel corridor for a project, Redditor I Am Not the Problem captured something unexpected. Look for the pale blobby thing floating in the middle of the hallway. Did you see it? The Redditor says it's not a bug, and they weren't wearing any reflective jewelry. Still, Redditors have some plausible theories. The more I watch the clip, the more I logic my way toward the mere hypothesis. Dark, damp caves bring only danger to wanderers. And here's another proof, published by Solo Paranormal in January of 2022, and credited to Victor Perez. This encounter is super creepy, although we don't have context for this video. From what I gather, the cameraman is navigating through a cave system in a vehicle. There appears to be an opening overhead off to the left, followed by another section of the cave. But what is that to the corner on the left? Something appears inside the cave in the darkness, a strange sliver of light. It appears only for a moment and then vanishes. What is this light in the darkness? I guess exploring that cave is the only way to find out. Warning to young explorers, don't enter abandoned malls at night. Jaskinho published this footage in September of 2018, illustrating exactly why. Explaining that the mall in question is Charlestown Outlet Mall in the US, he writes, "This is an older video I thought I'd drop for you guys. The mall closed for good over 30 years ago, and I did record a video here before, but there was talk about the basement level, so we went in. While the first 9 minutes reveal your typical exploring of the abandoned mall, 9 minutes in, one of the crew peers into a dark room beyond, and that's when he hightails it out of there, followed closely by the rest." One of the bunch says they were running for nearly 5 minutes. According to the one who first ran, he saw someone in the room beyond. Although the video didn't capture the figure, we can only imagine what this group came across. And with that in mind, I think they made the right choice getting out of there ASAP. This slow motion video captures a man peeling around a corner as fast as he can, and soon you see exactly what has him moving so fast. A gigantic cheetah literally bounces off the wall in pursuit. The video ends before we exactly get to see what happens next. Maybe this cheetah really did come in straight from the jungle, or maybe it was kept as a household pet until one day it simply snapped. Whatever the case may be, I doubt it ended well for the person running away. Then again, I have no idea why he would just happen to have a camera set up to catch this event perfectly, so maybe it was scripted after all. Let me know what you think is going on here, and also tell me if you have any more background information that can help us put this video in better context. YouTube team Charm City Paranormal investigate the haunted Wilson Castle in Proctor, Vermont, and what they discover there is truly haunting. They first encounter a spirit named Zachary via EVP in the ballroom on the 3rd floor. While I don't necessarily hear this phrase, I do hear a bone-chilling, disembodied voice. A recording device captures another EVP, but this one is truly indecipherable. Any theories as to what it says? After speaking directly with the spirit, some unexplained sounds are heard.
We do something to offend or upset you?
I just heard a woman say yes.
Later, they also believe they've caught an apparition on camera. I'll let Mike explain.
Grabbing my second angle, I briefly lingered in the threshold of one of the closets, and during this time, captured a very strange anomaly on the camera, and I can't come up with a solid reason as to what this is. Ethan is currently the only one in the room with a light on, and is on the opposite side of the room.
I'm not sure what that is either. I can't think of a logical explanation, and I wouldn't discount the paranormal in a historic castle like this one. Sleepwalker has a few tricks up his sleeve. Published to the Tide channel, Haunted Before Bed. This security footage captures a sleepwalker's misadventures overnight, and they're scarier than you can even imagine. The sleepwalker is seen standing over his bedmate, then sitting straight up in bed. A little later, he is posed strangely like he's dancing. Another room security camera captures him standing over a table, staring at it for a moment. Then he reaches his arm towards a water bottle on the far end of the table. This is where things get truly creepy. His arm stretches like Gumby to grab the bottle, and then retracts to a normal length. Later, as he sits back in bed, an arm reaches out from under the bed. This time, it's not his Gumby arm, it's someone else's. A couple of guys are shown sleeping in another room at around 2:40 in the morning, when suddenly a woman's scream is heard. They both get up from bed to investigate, and as they do, they hear a crashing sound like broken glass.
Fine.
They open the door to find the bed empty of its two occupants, and a human-like figure crouched on a windowsill, its eyes glowing as it looks at them. The figure then jumps from the second floor. The cameraman races to the window, but only darkness reigns. What was this figure? And where did the sleepwalker and his roommate go? It's a twisted nightmare in the making. There's an abandoned house deep in the forests of Malaysia that was once owned by a kindly elderly man who threw large parties and enjoyed the company of everyone. But one day he mysteriously passed away, and in his place moved in rough and mean squatters who used the happy home for their own dark rituals. Now a team of paranormal investigators are looking to see how well these conjuring rites have worked. You're going to hear a noise after the footstep. Is this an animal or someone crying out loud? If it is an animal, we never hear it again, and it isn't long before they find a voodoo doll made from twisted wood scraps. It looks like it took a long time to make and is probably infused with arcane magic. There's a large wooden stick jabbed through its foot, so I think it's been used. But does it work is the question. They don't stick around and leave before whoever made it returns. Believe it or not, this doll is scarier than she looks. Published by Rota X in November of 2020. They encounter this creepy doll directly upon entering, covered in red. Let's hope that's paint. And then this happens. After they're running away as fast as they can from the demon doll, they realize a presence is still with them. It makes itself known via the EMF meter. Has whatever possessed that doll latched onto them? Time to call an exorcist. A man is all by himself when he hears a wild animal tearing through his home. Eventually, he corners it in the bathroom and cautiously enters with a camera. This is what he records moments before running away to call the police. A wide-eyed humanoid slowly straightens out while eyeing him with a calm expression. Like the uploader says, it's hard to tell if this was a human or not, and everything from genetic experiments to the rake has been suggested in the comments. Is this video real? And if so, what do you think it was? If If a disembodied voice tells you to leave, you should probably listen. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Mads Entertain, the Redditor was given a warning that might be worth heeding as he and a friend enter an abandoned house. About 1 minute into the clip, a creepy old lady voice orders them to leave. They don't leave. Instead, they search the barren house up to the second floor. After exploring, the Redditor is doing his outro when something bangs overhead.
If you're new to our channel, again, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for new content every Sunday.
It sounds like it's coming from upstairs. They hurry out of the house, and the Redditor explains that they had to cut because after hearing that bang, they heard scraping against the walls and the sound of a door opening. Well, the voice had warned them. What did they expect? You are probably asking yourself what could possibly be scary about ice. Well, it's not so much about ice itself, but rather what's growing around the area that forms the cubes and pushes them out. A thick layer of yellow filth has taken over this restaurant ice machine, which is somehow still in service and making ice for customers. I'm not even sure what this specific part of the machine is used for, but I know I regret watching it. The yellow substance has crusted into black mold along the corners. Again, I honestly can't believe this video was recorded in a restaurant that was still open. And that's just what this ice machine looks like on the outside. What's growing inside is even worse. Take a look at this and tell me if you would want this floating anywhere near your cold drink. You'd think the cubes would be absolutely disgusting and easy to spot, but look at this ice. You'd never realize there was much of a problem or where it really came from. In this house, you'll expect a jump scare around every corner. After experiencing paranormal events in his family home, this man decided to take some video to see if he could capture anything on camera. Let's take the haunted tour. What is happening here? He finds a flower on the stairs. He claims no one in the household knows where it came from. Is this knock a warning, as the YouTuber believes? Well, upstairs in the bedroom, it happens again.
Oh man, you think you've got what they're doing?
Something just threw the clothes from the wardrobe. If those knocks were a warning, I'd take the clothes as a clear message. This ghost wants you to leave. Muna Bruzan bought this strange and creepy doll at an antique sale after she felt its eyes watching her. Now the doll apparently continues to do so as their connection grows stronger over time. Here you can see her pick up the doll to admire her. When the doll apparently comes to life, you can hear Muna cry out in surprise as the doll turns towards her and flutters its eyes. I have no idea how this could have happened, since both of her hands are nowhere near the doll's head when it turns to face her. When she puts the doll back down, it seems to understand that she is done playing and thoughtfully turns its gaze outside the window. A YouTuber and his friend are riding a motorcycle throughout the Indian town of Uti when they unexpectedly zoom past a pedestrian clad in ancient-looking robes. Watch this part, and if you happen to share their language, please translate what's being shouted at the person here. I'm guessing that they probably said watch where you're going or something along those lines. Whatever it is that they said, it must have really upset the other person, because after driving in a straight line for about another minute, this happens. They come across the same person as before. Yet this is impossible because there is no way that the person could have been traveling on foot faster than what they were doing on a bike. Suddenly it dawns on them that they were most likely taunting a spirit, and it looks like they actually get off their bike to flee. This video looks very authentic, and I'm inclined to believe it is real because there's no added music or sound effects, just raw footage. If anyone is from the town of Uti or lives nearby, let me know if these sightings are common in the area, or better yet, tell me if you've ever seen something like this yourself. A YouTuber named Adam the Woo is checking out an old abandoned barbecue restaurant in the middle of the California desert and picks up strange occurrences that are possibly supernatural. There are a lot of moments in this video that sound like voices far away, saying words too quietly to understand, like here for example. There's also a lot of electrical disturbances that happen for pretty much no reason. At one point, Adam calls out into what should be an otherwise empty room and gets the faintest of replies.
Hello?
Listen again and tell me if you hear it. A lot of people think that this was a female voice saying hello, but it sounds too far away to tell for sure. Perhaps most unsettling of all, however, is what could be a pair of feet in the stall of this busted out bathroom. While hunting for skinwalkers in Skinwalker Village, things start to go horribly wrong for YouTuber Hype Mike and his crew. First, they smell something rancid, and they soon find out what it is.
Dude, what is that smell? You smell that?
It's like rotting flesh or something.
Sorry. Oops.
Run! Go! Hurry! What the? This way.
After coming upon the Skinwalker feasting, they take shelter in an outbuilding, but something is waiting outside for them in the darkness.
Oh. Is that? Hello? Who's that? Hello?
What's this? Be careful.
Will they make it out alive? If they do, it'll be a close call, but you'll have to watch the full video to find out. YouTuber Near Shadows has a stalker. After being led here by Randonautica, this is what they capture on camera.
That's it. What the heck?
Oh my, please,
Go! Go!
Please.
What the was that?
Is that a demon, a banshee, or is it human? It doesn't sound human to me. My money's on this being a banshee. Have you ever woken up to the feeling that you're being watched? Posted to Twitter by San Bernardino PD in April of 2022, this brazen home intruder was captured on camera standing over the home's residents while they slept. A wise camera in the resident's bedroom caught the thief lurking over them, creepily watching them. It looks as though the thief knows there's a security camera there. As he covers his face with a piece of cloth, he watches the residents sleeping. After watching the sleeping residents, he starts looking around for valuables. While many of these videos don't often have a satisfactory conclusion, this one does. The San Bernardino Police Department writes in the comments, "Due to outstanding police work from our officers and investigators, the suspect was identified and arrested. Thankfully, he won't be hovering over anyone else as they sleep anytime soon." This pair of videos will send you running. Posted to TikTok by Jen Barari, something is stalking around outside Jen's home in this first clip.
Holy sh! Dude, you guys. That was crazy.
What made these noises?
Yo, I swear to that wasn't me.
The first whisper sounds like help to me.
That was crazy.
But I'm not sure what the other noises are. Jen's second video is even freakier. Upon returning home in the night, she sees this. But a security camera captures something else. Many in the comments are freaked out that this spirit is mimicking her. It looks very much like Jen, same length of hair and everything. It even kind of sounds like her in the first video. So is this spirit preparing itself to become her? I for one think so. Both clips are super suspect. If you're going to poke fun at the afterlife, you'd better be willing to cross over yourself. Published in September of 2021, these paranormal investigators dive into the mystical Black Forest, a mysterious place in which the occult and other cryptic happenings occur. Here's what they found. The men immediately try to pester the spirits, preparing a ritual in which incense is burning upside down. This, they say, is intended to insult the spirit, and this spirit apparently doesn't take to the insult kindly. As the group sits and waits, watching the incense burn, while a candle glows beside it, suddenly the plastic bottle the incense was placed in bursts. It flies off the altar, knocking the candlelight out as well. The pair wonder if something flew into it, although it looks more like something burst out of it. What do you think happened here? Does this spirit have a really short fuse? An invisible force has taken this man by the scruff of his neck, published in December of 2019. At the beginning of the video, the cameraman and another man off screen are yelling at each other. At a distance, a short figure in white appears to be standing in a dark doorway. Its features are indistinguishable. The two continue yelling at each other until the cameraman turns around and starts running away from the figure in the doorway. As he does, the friend who was yelling is captured on camera holding a flashlight, but suddenly he is thrown to the ground, and as if a mysterious invisible force is acting upon him, the man is dragged away. The cameraman runs toward him to help, and it appears as if he is thrown to the ground too. Mayhem ensues as they both try to fight it off. They finally manage to break away and they start hurrying off, but the cameraman doesn't get far. He is thrown to the ground and dragged again through the ice and snow. He struggles with the force before being pulled, this time into a room. He manages to escape and run away, and when he turns to look back, there's a small figure in the doorway again. What is this force? Where was it taking him? He'd better leave now, or it might just get him this time. Abandoned prisons lock up the souls of true evil forever. YouTuber Jade of Ghost Club Paranormal teams up with Hollywood paranormal detectives to investigate the Nevada State Prison. As the crew rounds a corner, they immediately feel frightened.
That wasn't the door.
Maybe there's something following us.
When they enter death row, a voice can be heard on one of their cameras.
Fuck you. I live in.
What?
That's too creepy. Here it is again. As they continue through the prison, they pick up more EVPs.
Right.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
And a moment later, this happens.
I couldn't tell where it was, but it was very muffled.
It almost said. It almost said. It almost said.
Although the team says this is a disembodied voice, it sounds like a doll's voice to me. A moment later, their REM pod device goes off and they capture yet another EVP.
Good.
I wonder who Archibald is. There seems to be plenty of activity in this prison, so I have no doubt that whoever he is, he's still here. This incident shows that even streamers' homes can be haunted. Twitch streamer Justa Minx is chatting with her fellow influencers, Aviva Sophia and Nico Lull, when in the midst of discussion, the wheelchair in the corner behind her moves unexpectedly. Nico Lull is the first to notice, while Aviva Sophia confirms that she saw it move too. Justa Minx denies that it moved, but it was behind her, so she couldn't have seen it. A second clip reveals further proof that Justa Minx's home is haunted. As she's talking about TikTok with her followers, a distinct silhouette flashes into view on the right. This time she sees it out of the corner of her eye. She asks her viewers if they saw it too. Many in the comments think it's a black cat, but can a cat move a wheelchair? One strange happening is enough. Two is too much to explain away. This video comes from a YouTuber named Kusun2. He's a college student with an original Xbox that has a very strange and unexplainable problem. Every time he is hanging out by himself, his console likes to turn itself on. This happens so often that Kusun2 decides to record it for evidence. The only problem is that this Xbox appears to be camera shy. He'll stare and stare at it and it won't do a thing. It only seems to turn on when he is doing something else, almost as if it's trying to distract him. Even now as he films his Xbox and explains his story, it refuses to turn on by itself and makes him look like a fool. After talking for about 5 minutes, Kusun2 finally decides to test his theory and leaves the room. The Xbox does nothing for a long time, but then keep in mind that there's no way to turn on an original Xbox remotely, and he always keeps his controller neatly wrapped up on the top of the system, so he can't be using a controller that's out of sight. On top of that, things have been regularly disappearing and reappearing on their own, and now Kusun2 is extremely creeped out about being alone. Bell Tower Bat lives in a haunted hotel that's built upon a series of tunnels that are haunted as well, so she decides to go ghost hunting with the TikTok app and see what Reality Ripple shows her. The first thing she notices are a couple antique bottles that seem to have a ghost attached to them. It's an all-black aura that is far different from the psychedelic colors that are usually displayed. Now it's time to leave her room and see what else her ghost hunting app has to show her. She doesn't see anything for the rest of the video until she gets to the very last haunted hallway. A ghostly shadow figure looks at her down the hall and sends her the other way. The Reality Ripple is still on, so if this was a living person, it should be an orange or purple color. Instead, the shadow person is devoid of color, so either this video was edited, or else it's a real ghost sighting on TikTok. Somebody's Watching You, posted to Instagram by Henry Cavill. This clip is seemingly just a simple, albeit incredible instructional video in which Superman actor Henry Cavill puts together a gaming PC. But not everything is as it seems. As Henry pieces this monster together, sharing his expertise, the project turns into an all-day event and darkness falls outside. That's when you see this eerie face in the window. In the comments, memes like one points it out to Henry, writing, "There is a creepy face behind the window. What is that?" Well, Cavill has no answer. Miss Nightmare does, suggesting it might be a ghost or a lurker. Well, Danny Maiden thinks it's a Joker painting. What do you think it is? Just an altogether eerie reflection? Or is something or someone lurking on Henry? Unidentified aerial phenomena, also known as a UAP, was captured at Dreamland in Dripping Springs, Texas, and shared by Redditor My Brian on Acid.
Dogman.
You doing it?
Recording the alien spaceship?
You need to.
It's like not moving at all.
The uploader says another source reported on this same sighting.
And it's like way higher than the planes that just flew by. It's like further away. It's not moving at all.
Well, let's see if it's up there after we play.
The post the Redditor is referring to was captured by someone walking their dog who believed the UAP to be a planet, but once they looked at it through their binoculars, they noticed a dark center and a haze around the object. In the comments, Redditor Cronin Siglos appeared to crack the code, writing that it's a high-altitude balloon called an HBAL 604. After seeing one of these, I have to agree.
And it's like way higher than the planes that just flew by. It's like further away. It's not moving at all.
A YouTuber named Ghost Chic believes she has a problem in her home of the paranormal variety. One day her dog just starts patrolling the living room, as if on guard even though there is nothing out of the ordinary and no strange noises. I'm wondering if it is annoyed by something on television, or at something we can't see standing there.
Said it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Whatever it is, he seems satisfied that it's gone for now, but then he tries to track it. Meanwhile, notice how the smaller dog doesn't seem to care at all.
Is everything okay?
Down.
It's definitely weird, although maybe it could have just been a bug or something, but still, that doesn't explain how on a different day, both of her dogs get up to see who's at the door. The door opens and I think I might see a shadow pass through, though it could be the outside light. As soon as she's coming in to see what's wrong, the barely discernible orb passes overhead, unseen to her at the time, but caught on camera nonetheless. And when she later goes ghost hunting using a Kinect in the same room, she detects a spirit by the window.
I went up hand so you can see that there's no one else over there with her. No one's on my curtain.
Then something eerie happens. So is this a paranormal encounter? Or is this person waving their hand at 38 seconds, also moving it with their hand during this part? I'll let you decide. YouTuber John the Paranormal Guy ranked the top 5 most haunted locations he's investigated in 2021. Among them was the Springville Plantation house in Alabama. Here's what they encountered there. Listen closely.
No.
Was that you?
Hey, Cheetah, no.
The unexplained scream sent chills down my spine. Listen again. What was that? I can definitely hear a scream in the background, but it's not clear where it's coming from. Is it human or paranormal? I think we'd have to dig deeper to find out. Mark Bennick from the Netherlands has caught what he calls a real scary ghost video on tape, paranormal evidence that he claims is the best, most undeniable proof of the other side. He and a friend named Luke go exploring an abandoned farmhouse that's beyond creepy even in broad daylight. The inside feels off and continues to give them every impression that the place is haunted. Eventually they come across basement steps leading deeper inside. Going down them is a big mistake.
Hold couple. Tapas. Lear. Holy. This so extreme.
He finds Luke hunched over, gasping for breath, and soon he is not feeling too good himself.
He's so extreme.
The investigation ends early. Something got them down there, but they don't know what. They suspect this is the best paranormal evidence ever recorded, but it probably has to do more with being in an abandoned basement with not so good air quality. To further prove my point, Luke, who is down there slightly longer, probably breathed in more tainted air and seemed to have gotten the worst of it out of them both. Or maybe that's also the way it worked with paranormal energy too. We'll never know for sure. The point is, exploring abandoned houses is more risky than you'd think for many reasons, aside from the paranormal, so I would never recommend doing it yourself. Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Havoc Nova, this Redditor wrote, "Walked into my office to start my workday and found this, and I can see exactly what he's talking about. Something is up with that cool Scarface poster. It's like an invisible hand is rocking the poster back and forth. Even when the Redditor tries to steady the poster, it continues to move. Well, some people like myself are first jumping to this office being haunted. Not everyone is convinced." Laundry Ghosty wrote in the comments, "You need insulation in your walls. There's a small hole allowing a breezeway from the exterior wall to form. This phenomenon happened in our current house. It turned out it's because the insulation that was blown into the walls 30 years ago needed repairs and replacing. So what do you think? Is this office actually haunted? Or are these walls just in need of some more insulation?"
Who's doing this?
Popular YouTuber named Mikey021 has reason to believe his house in Brazil is really haunted. He says it's not uncommon for objects to go moving on their own. Tell me if you think this home experiment is real or not. This video might be a spirit, or he could be blowing plastic cups off his counter with a hair dryer. It looks paranormal until you realize it could simply be wind. If some heavier objects were caught on camera from a different angle, showing both sides of the counter, then I would be more readily convinced, but as it stands, I'm just not sure if his house is haunted. Dogman sightings are being caught on tape more often than ever. Here are two separate Dogman encounters taken by different people years apart that are remarkably similar. The first video was taken in 2015, after a neighbor noticed all the fruit had been picked from their apple and pear trees. It's late at night when this large creature with a broad face and beady white eyes comes up to the window for a closer look. It looks like the window is probably 7 or 8 feet from the ground. Judging from the lamppost across the way, this creature looks tall enough to reach up and pick fruit from a tree. Apparently all of the food outside has been eaten, and now they're thinking about coming in. I'm surprised at the lack of detail showing because it's standing in the light, so I'm not sure if this is fake. It looks like it wants to climb in but thinks better of it and eventually walks away. Real or fake, that video looks similar to a different Dogman encounter years later. In this sighting, a mysterious creature watches from a window late at night, same as before. It has beady white eyes and on its head are 2 pointy ears, the signature trademark of a Dogman sighting. This creature looks smaller than the other one, but its behavior is the same. It stares inside for a long time and then slinks away, and based on the sound it makes, whatever this creature is, it's far from human. A Reddit user named Never2 shared the following video hoping for some potential answers as to what his mother captured on her driveway security camera late one night. What starts off as a simple piece of home surveillance footage quickly turns into something utterly pulse-pounding, as you will soon see. Wow. So I'm just gonna pause it again once it comes on screen here. We see a couple orbs just kind of flying around, but right here, this sort of ghostly presence starts here, disappears again, completely off screen, but is gonna come back again right here and just kind of float off into the distance. I think what's especially freaky is that part right here where it's almost like the security camera glitches out and you can see it just a bit better once it does, which is just freaky to me. Kind of goes back and forth there and then is just completely off screen to not be seen again. Just super, super creepy stuff. The strange figure's appearance on camera alone would be enough for some people to believe this is a paranormal entity, which is very understandable, but then again, it could be explained as a camera trick. But as soon as this strange flickering happens off to the left side of the screen, it is certainly hard to pass this off as anything but a ghost. Usually ghost videos are fairly hotly debated, but the comment section on this particular Reddit post seems to be in agreement that something odd was captured on the OP's mom's home surveillance camera. Whatever it is exactly though is still uncertain. A YouTuber named Panji Petualan is searching for frogs with his friends late at night along with anything else they can find. The team has their head down to look for prey, but at 21 minutes and 4 seconds, Panji looks up for the briefest of moments and catches this bipedal creature as it sprints away from the light. It happens so fast that they don't even appear to see it at first. It appears to be a pale white and instinctively flees from the light, which makes sense for a nocturnal creature to do. It does not make a sound as it moves, despite being the size of a human and a very close distance away. Imagine glancing at the security camera footage outside your home and catching this, published by blah blah in December of 2021. This scary video is trending in the Arabic-speaking YouTube community. It was apparently posted on Instagram originally, captured around midnight in August of 2021. Security footage shows a few cars parked outside in a wooded area. The freaky part is the gangly figure contorting itself in the driveway. The figure walks backward and then forward very strangely, its back hunched over and long limbs swinging. The bony figure then flips his hair back and walks toward the camera, arms outstretched. He then turns around looking up toward the sky. It's not clear what he sees there. Maybe he's waiting. Is this a particularly gaunt human having a laugh? Or is this something extra, waiting for the mothership? Not only do you have to worry about pyrotechnic incidents at work, you might have to worry about ghosts as well. YouTuber Joey Nike 12 posted this video of a store he claims is haunted in Kingsville. At the beginning of the video, he tells a coworker, "Let's go record that room," before heading to the haunted room in question. They set a video camera up to record the purportedly paranormal activity that occurs in this room. About 3 minutes into the footage, you can see a dustpan move ever so slightly, and then not ever so slightly. It falls over and a moment later, the door next to it slams closed. The boys re-enter the room nonchalantly, not knowing the strangeness that has just occurred there, but after coming across this video that went too far, they may not want to enter this haunted storage room ever again. Dennis of Dark Ghost Paranormal is at his breaking point in this scary video. Published in March of 2022, Dennis encounters the most terrible demon in this haunted abode. Dennis conducts an EGF session with a horned skull facing a mirror. It tells him, "You let him out." After asking what he should do, the skull requests a ritual. He's told to burn it and take it to the swamp. Otherwise, the demon will follow him. He is also told that the demon is here. Dennis creeps around the house searching. He doesn't need to look far. Dennis is later dragged across the room by his heel. After regaining his feet, he calmly takes in the entire disaster zone. Then an object under a big draping robe moves toward him. Is this the demon? He'd better get to that ritual. I have a feeling there is worse to come. Being a pilot can seem like a glamorous job, but sometimes it's downright terrifying. YouTuber DonMCL1 published this video in October of 2006. The clip shows a jet taking off from a runway, but soon sirens start sounding off, while the aircraft's nose points skyward.
Oh. Okay, NL. T6NL.
Lots of talk back and forth over the radio is indecipherable. The nose then pans sideways, clearly indicating the aircraft is out of control. Over the radio, you can hear someone mention engine failure.
T6NL. Already. Okay.
Right before someone says eject, 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 as the nose of the plane turns downward.
Eject. Liking that to copy your break after the north.
Shortly after, the plane nosedives and the footage scrambles. While the description of this video doesn't reveal much about the incident, Kiwi Jet Pilot in the comments section appears to be quite knowledgeable about what happened here. First off, he clears up the description of the plane, saying it's not an F-16 but a Canadian-flown British-built BAE Hawk. He states that this occurred in May of 2004 in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, during a UK Royal Air Force crew training mission, but this video shows they survived by the skin of their teeth, a little too close for comfort. Filipino YouTuber TABIAPO has captured a real Sigbin on camera in Barangay Sanko. After finding evidence of the creature, they come to the edge of this tall grass.
And guys, pinawag na natin yung mga elemento. Tignan natin kung lalabas ngayong hapon.
That's when they see this.
Ito na yung sinasabing Sigbin, guys. Nakita nyo? Ayan, oh. Ayan, naglalakad yung Sigbin, oh. Klaro.
The creature has black fur. You can't even discern shades of color. He looks like a shadow himself.
Sigbin talaga, oh. Ito yung sinasabi ni Manang Flor kanina. Yung malaki yung tinga, tapos pula yung mata. Napakaitim na nilalang. Ayan yung creature na sinasabi ko. Ayan, oh.
Then it starts coming toward them.
Parang pupunta dito. Sa tabs, oh. Oh, parang pupunta siya dito. Alis to ah. O yan, dyan lang. O mga katats, tingnan nyo ah. Aagisan ko ng dapag na may orasyon.
Apparently these leaves are protection. What do you think of the Sigbin? To me, it looks a bit like a monkey with large bat-like ears. Its complete darkness also instills paranormal fear of the unknown. All I know is, I don't want that thing feeding on my shadow. The G team visited downtown Savannah, Georgia at night in this paranormal investigation. The first spirits they meet seem to be super friendly.
In the streets around here. Did it just say hi?
Hi. Jensen.
They begin to feel a presence around them.
Okay, so when I was over there a few minutes ago, I thought somebody walked up behind me. And I looked around, there was nobody there, and you were way over that way.
Peering into the Davenport house, the lady's spidey senses start to tingle.
Oh, that's weird. Look at that. So this is the Davenport house.
Then, as they're standing outside more historic buildings, they hear this mysterious noise.
I was looking up there, but I felt like something was Oh, what was that? Did you hear that? I did.
And even creepier, they see what appears to be a shadow entity. In the end, the G team is feeling such creepy vibes that they call it a day.
Get this sketched out very easily. I'm usually the one getting the sketched out feelings, but she's got it really bad.
Unlike usually, let's do it. Let's go for it. Let's get in there.
Would you keep up the search? Me neither. A YouTuber named Rata Negra Mago is positive that his house is haunted, and he claims to have the evidence to back it up. The kid's toy moves across the table and I don't see a string. Then a bottle falls off the table. There are no shadows coming from the other room when it happens. No one is around. And right before it happens, this strange traveling light appears. Looks paranormal to me. 4 days later, he catches this object moving all by itself. This one I find a little harder to believe because I feel like it's definitely in their grandma's line of sight. I mean, how could you miss a bright green reflective veg doing 360s for almost a full minute is beyond me. She must have been fully absorbed in her show. I have my doubts about this one, but at the same time I don't know how they're doing it, so maybe it's real. This final video taken almost a year later is perhaps the oddest of all. This hanging ornament begins moving in place with nothing to help get it started. Yes, it's by an open window, but there's no wind. The leaves on this plant don't move, and neither does this towel hanging over a chair. And it's not the air conditioner either, because this connected red string doesn't move at all. And if you're still not convinced, take a listen. At 1 minute and 20 seconds, this phantom light reflects across the stereo glass, though to be fair, it could just be a member of the family. Narrator subreddit. This Redditor writes, I've been getting haunted for a while now, and now it's messing with childhood pictures of me. In the clip, the kid says his door won't stop opening, and in that moment it's flung open. Shortly after, a series of pictures falls slightly from the wall and starts to swing. Is this a demon, as the Redditor suggests? Another Redditor in the comments thinks it may be a ghost or a spirit, but likely not a demon. He offers advice, writing, ask it how you can help. Maybe research your house to see what may have happened there. Other Redditors like iPro the Floor thinks this video looks legit. I'm genuinely scared for you, he writes. I think we all are. It's 2:10 a.m. on September of 2015. This individual is fast asleep in their bed, as anyone might expect to be at such a late hour. Posted to YouTube by the Genderuwo in April of 2019. The video shows a man tossing and turning in his sleep, normal restlessness. At one point, he pulls the covers up over his head. A short while later, he turns onto his side. All normal, but what's abnormal is the body shape that appears to be sleeping next to him. After rolling to his side, the man notices the unwelcome company under the covers. He starts feeling what looks to be a solid form beside him. Appearing startled, he gets out from under the covers, patting the blanket up and down, before pulling it clean off his bed. As you likely suspected, there is nothing beneath it. Further footage in the man's apartment shows a strange blurred shadow figure cross from a hallway to another room in the home. The same sort of shadow figure is seen again in the footage from another hallway in the apartment. What do you think? Is it time to move? Probably should, just in case. Don't know about you, but I'd do whatever was in my power to avoid sharing my bed with an unwelcome ghost. YouTuber Anonymous Web brings us this scary video and what appears to be an abandoned home. A hooded Jinn creeps past in the hallway, and he's about to light it up.
بسم الله الرحمن بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله.
Did this Jinn create the fire, or was he created by it? I think we just witnessed the birth of a Jinn. YouTube team, The New Reality Paranormal, is investigating a haunted general store, and inside they hear and see some unexplained things. First, as they enter, footsteps are heard.
It just said wave.
And right after, a voice.
Okay, said rat.
Yeah? Now you're calling names or what?
Resorting to calling people names? Was that a voice?
I swear that was a voice.
Is somebody in here? It seems like it to me, especially after seeing this white orb drift past just as Sean says he's feeling nauseous.
Like, I almost feel nauseous.
Whoa.
The back of my neck is...
No, dude, I am catching it on film right now.
I think there's a reason Sean is queasy. A spirit just traveled straight through him. It's past midnight at a police station in Pahang, Malaysia. A quiet crew plays chess to help pass the time, completely unaware of something that stays 2 moves ahead. The faint outline of a figure leaves them fearfully singing for protection and clambering over each other to stay far away. A different police video taken 10 years later shows more scary things that are just beyond creepy. In the darkness looms a mysterious figure, not wearing a reflective vest like everyone else, that also does not reveal any detail whatsoever, even when directly under the high-powered beam of a police flashlight. Not to mention those crying noises coming from the woods. It could be speakers, but I really doubt the police would be wasting time faking paranormal videos, so either this is a joke being played on them, or else these scary ghost videos are actually real. I want to get the opinions of people from Malaysia, where this video was made, to help me decide if these creepy videos are real, or part of a viral trend, or what. Either way, you know the paranormal activity is bad, when even the police are too afraid to do something about it. Not that there's much they can do. When YouTuber Exploration Unknown visited a haunted house built on cursed land, he heard a female ghost speak. Let's hear what she has to say.
Now, to the young lady, can you tell me your name?
Now look in the right-hand window of the door. It looks like someone is standing there and then moves to the side.
Now, to the young lady, can you tell me your name?
The spirit repeats her name many times. Abigail wants to be free.
Say Annie. Free me.
When he asks what happened to Abby, he gets a response.
Annie, what happened to you?
To me, it sounds like she passed away during some sort of battle. I'm sure she has a reason to stick around here after, but it probably wasn't to be paranormally investigated. A YouTuber named Sunny Cooper has recorded a shadow moving back and forth that looks out of place. Maybe together we can figure out what this strange shadow belongs to. It starts out going one direction, then it comes back the other way. It almost looks like a rat or a small animal of some sort, but that still doesn't explain how it appears to instantly teleport across a large gap twice. I guess this could just be some sort of time-lapse editing, but something about the way the shadow moves looks like it was recorded in real time. Let me know if you have any explanation for what's happening here. Steve and Jake are wandering around the woods one summer night with a single goal in mind. They want to explore an abandoned local chapel that's rumored to be haunted. As they approach approach, they see that someone has written prayers and warnings all over the outside wall. The two friends instantly get a bad feeling about this adventure, but they swallow their fear and decide to press on. The rickety main door is locked, so they sneak around back. Already, they don't want to be here much longer. They had explored an old clock tower earlier in the day and were greatly disappointed by a lack of paranormal activity. But they could tell this church is way different. The place looked and felt quite haunted. They go up some wooden steps and enter through the back door. They shine their flashlights deep into the church's main assembly. There's rows and rows of wooden pews ahead of them. They pass by a podium and notice a piano. Then they head deeper inside. Now they find themselves inside of a small maintenance closet. They close the door behind them because they don't want anyone sneaking up on them. It feels like anyone could be watching them right now. They see a ladder to the left. Steve is about to climb it until Jake jokes that a body is going to fall down on him if he does, so he decides not to. That's when the piano starts to play from outside.
Oh no. Oh my god. Turn the lights, turn the lights. Listen for it. Just piano. Is that piano? Should we go out there? Is that door open? That door open?
It's a soft and haunting piano melody that fills the church. Steve and Jake shut off their flashlights and keep recording. They debate whether or not they should go outside or stay here, where it's semi-safe. They realize that they can't spend the entire night trapped in the broom closet of a haunted church, so they turn their flashlights back on to see who is playing. Sitting at the piano at the far end of the room is a black hunched-over phantom. They scream and shut the door. Jake cries for a bit, then they run away through the back exit. The music stops as soon as they leave the church. They were hoping that the music stopped because it was over, but in reality, it was because the ghost had gotten up from the piano to chase them. They run a good distance before pausing to look back into the dark scenery. It seems like they've gotten away, but then the ghost finds them and they run away screaming. The camera cuts off as they fall back deeper into the woods. At least one of them survived and uploaded this video onto YouTube, where it's remained for the past 10 years. Have you ever played Peekaboo with the paranormal? Redditor Paranormal Purgatory has posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit. He writes, an apparition was caught peeking around the door at a 150-year-old farmhouse mansion with tons of EVPs and footsteps, and a child asking for help and wanting us to play. At the moment in question, the Redditor is walking down a hallway when his battery starts running out. As he approaches a room, something is clearly peering around the corner at him. It moves quickly out of sight once it notices that it's been seen. The Redditor shouts "hey" at it. The thing is definitely a figure, not a lens flare, and can't be explained away as some technical glitch. Moreover, the Redditor clearly saw it in reality. The team thinks they, without a doubt, caught something paranormal on camera. Do you? I sure do. Once a seminary school and then a hospice for displaced women, Madison Seminary in Ohio is supposedly haunted. With over 170 years of history, its walls are open to the YouTube team Charm City Paranormal for investigation. In one of the rooms, known as Sarah's room, the team's paranormal devices are triggered.
It's like, you can tell.
This is too.
When one of the team goes to check out the K2 meter, it moves slightly without explanation. A moment later, they hear a disembodied voice.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Here it is with the audio boosted. Is Sarah here? What does she want from her newfound company? Whoever's spirit this is, I feel she's ready to communicate. A YouTuber named Jay Frasina is filming her visit in the ice caves deep inside the Austrian mountains when she records a rise of nervous screams coming from the tourist group up ahead. A short while later, this odd figure is seen scaling the walls.
Someone climbing up the wall. It's an ice man. It's a ghost. Jesus, what is that?
I was almost certain that this was just a frog until I remembered that they were in the ice caves. As far as I know, no cold-blooded frog should be able to survive the icy temperatures without freezing. And besides that, I don't think a group of people would randomly scream at once over an amphibian. Worst of all, it seems as though the glowing bluish humanoid creature appears to have no head. I can only imagine what this scene must have looked like in person. YouTubers Lucas and Marcus were filming a video when they discovered that someone was following them. They first noticed the stalker as they're driving down a dark road at night.
Is it following? I don't know. Is it following us? Hey, I think it might be. It's just, yeah, I think he might have turned off his headlights. Really? Yeah. Just the same one. Yes.
They even consider calling the cops.
Shouldn't I call Officer Near again, bro? I know. Maybe you can meet us in the property and help us? Yeah.
And then they do.
Officer Near, can you hear me? Yes, I can. Do you think you can meet us in the property? I think someone's following us.
Sure, where are you guys at?
We're at our house again.
Okay, I'll be really fine. I'm on duty, but off of the area. I can find out the pretty guys.
The officer comes out accompanied by a dog and searches the grounds.
All right, Officer O'Neill just arrived at the Delray residence. I'm off duty doing some canine training, but received a call out for a suspicious person. Can do an exterior canvas with canine miso. The vehicle's last seen approaching the mountain, following the mountain.
They find some evidence of an intruder.
That right there. Assume he probably took off running and dropped.
Hold up. That's a money clip?
I haven't touched it because of evidence. We're gonna have someone impound that and process it. But
okay.
Looks like he maybe dropped that when he was running.
Then, after hearing something outside, they finally see their stalker.
Yo. Hold up.
They call the officer back and he returns to check out the premises.
Oh! Wait. Where is he? Do you see him? Right there. Oh yeah. You see him?
Let's go.
Where is he? Officer, did you see him? He's not.
Although they didn't catch the stalker, at least not in this video, it seems to me that he's cornered. But the real question is, what did this guy want? Britton Smith is hanging around her dorm room when she notices something is apparently laying in bed with her.
Get on.
An invisible force appears to be pressing up and down on the flowery design of her covers, right before her very eyes. I will admit that it's hard to tell if something is on top of the covers or simply underneath, in which case it could be anything and not necessarily paranormal. Britton Smith describes this as a ghost in her dorm room, but I'd like to know if you agree with her or not. Bonding with nature takes on a whole new meaning when creepy stuff like this happens.
Extremely rare to see that anywhere. Oh, God.
No, just grab it.
A midday hike turns terrifying when a bat snuggles up in Mom's hair. Anderton Explorer caught the entire creature sighting on camera. Now they have to figure out how to get it untangled. Snapping their fingers to scare it off is a good idea, but the bat doesn't seem to care much. It spreads its wings, turns around, and marches towards her face. The mom is getting really scared, and who wouldn't be when a bat is about ready to crawl up next to your ear? They have to save her. Would you be brave enough to do the same?
Well, you hold still. God.
The bat is off of her, but it stays near all their possessions. It's dazed, not moving at all, and then suddenly it flies up in her daughter's face and almost gets in her hair next. Something almost has to be wrong with it. This isn't normal behavior at all. Think about it. A nocturnal creature sighting in broad daylight is a bad sign. An animal that is normally afraid of humans landing directly on one is even worse. The bat might have had rabies. If so, it was probably trying to get at her, but couldn't find its way through her hair. So with that in mind, this video becomes even scarier when you realize it could have been unknowingly poking for nearly 3 minutes straight at a bat that could potentially have rabies. The whole family was treating it like a joke, when in reality they could have gotten a serious case. In their defense, they do say in the comments that they saw the bat fly back into its cave, though how exactly that makes it any less likely to have rabies or not is something I don't understand. An urban exploration channel called Urbex with Taffy goes investigating an underground bunker when they start to feel incredibly watched for no reason at all. They pause at the entrance to a dark room and, night vision rolling, call out to any haunting the tunnels with them.
Okay, right, so is there anyone in here with us? Will you make a sound? Just make a noise.
In the doorway is a shadow person who is not Taffy nor his friend, Carl. As you can see both of their shadows. It's weird that a third shadow appears as soon as they ask for a sign, but this wouldn't be too hard to fake with a third person's help. The question is whether or not it was really the two of them down there in the creepy haunted tunnel, and that's something only Carl and Taffy will know for sure. Thank you so much for getting me to 50,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 60,000 subscribers next. Thank you.